It's the E.A.R. Chronicles. It's the E.A.R. Chronicles. I'm talking TV. I'm talking movies. I'm talking anime, cartoons, sci-fi, and fantasy. It's the E.A.R. Chronicles. It's the E.A.R. Chronicles. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the E.A.R. Chronicles. It's your host, Eric, and this is the place where you get to get all my thoughts and opinions on TV shows and movies that I like. And of course, right now we're talking about The Wheel of Time Season 3 and our episode 6. Oh, episode 6 was everything. Listen, I know there are so many complaints. More so from our book people, more so from the book people. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't speak for anybody else. I know I loved it. I thought it was great. I have no qualms with it for the most part. For the most part. I'll get to it if I have any in the review or not. But before I continue, y'all already know. Please subscribe. The wheel wills it. Please subscribe and turn on those notifications, okay? We need you to become, we meaning me, myself and I, need you to become an ear hustler. Join this community, and let's talk about the Wheel of Time and every other show or things that fall under the category of anime, cartoons, sci-fi, and fantasy. And then you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the E.A.R. Chronicles, and Twitter if you're on Twitter at E.A.R Chronicles. So thank you for that. So let's just jump right on into it. Episode 6 starts off with a cold open of Leandrin as a child. So we go back to Tenchiko years and years and years ago. And we see she has a little baby who she names Eludrin. But we also see like the man who's holding her captive, and apparently, that's the man that she was mentioning about who married her as an underage child or whatever. And pretty much she was a prisoner, y'all. And he was obviously abusing her and whatnot. And he tries to take her baby from her to kill the baby. And she manifests the one power and shoots a little fiery dart through the man who's trying to take her baby. Then she does the same thing to the man who's held her captive. And then she get the pow, 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 curb stomping his head till it ain't nothing left, baby. She stumped it like it was like she was in a grape barrel. You know them barrels where the wine press and they get the stumping on them grapes? That's what she did to his head. It was nothing left but mush when she got through with it. And then she's going out in the city. She's finally escaped him, but nobody's helping her. And how often, the therapist in me, how often do we see, people like, oh, we got to take care of the kids. We got to take care of the babies. We got to make sure everybody's safe. We got to make sure they're great. But, and yes, I'm equating it to modern times. But how many times do we see these poor babies like Leandrin in the real world, and nobody's offering them assistance? Nobody is helping them, making sure that she has what she needs, the baby's taken care of. In fact, that this stuff is even happening, that she can even be in a predicament like this. So she's out there in the streets of Tenchiko, and nobody's helping her. They look at her like, well, and she goes to sleep on this statue of a man and two women with a collared man. Which is gonna come up later in the story. But as she falls asleep in her dream, see, I didn't know it was a dream. I didn't paying attention like that. It was a little late in the night, so I wasn't really paying attention. But I was listening to a podcast. The name of the podcast, let me pull it up. The name of the podcast, if my phone will load so I can tell y'all, it's called The Wheel of Time Podcastica. That's who I was listening to, and they described that it was a dream. And I was like, oh my God, how did I not catch that? Because Ishmael visited Leandrin when she was young. He was like, I'm here to help you. You need some help. And he's flickering in and out. So I'm like, okay. When they said that, I'm like, it was a dream. And, he was in and out. However, why ever he had the ability to do that, I don't know, but he did. And so he offered her help, and now it makes sense that why she turned to the dark. He was only one. He was her hero, essentially. And so, of course, she gonna swear fealty to him in the dark because he's the only one that helped her. It's pretty much kind of like an X-Men situation with Storm, I think of when Professor X finds Storm. Well, before he finds her, she was working for the Shadow King. And so it's almost like, who finds you first? And she didn't have a Professor Charles Xavier to come find her. So she just stuck with the dark and Ishmael. So we get that little bit of backstory with her, which again adds more depth. But it also just makes sense. It doesn't complicate her story for me. And they also said this on the Wheel of Time podcast as well. And I agree that it doesn't necessarily complicate it. Honestly, uncomplicates it too. So that was that cold open. And y'all, I'm gonna try not to be before y'all too long. Because I can rub my mouth. Y'all know that. Y'all know I can rub my mouth. And so we get I'm gonna just try to stick with each section. So Tanchico, I may move back and forth between the Io Waste and the Two Rivers. I think I'm gonna save Two Rivers for last, or the Io Waste, but I'm gonna go in between Tanchico and the Io Waste. So we get to the Tanchico group. Such a fun group. We got Elaine, Nynaeve, Matt, Min. They getting ready, they dressing up, trying to blend in. And Nynaeve got these beads on the mat, like, no, don't go out there. That's showing you that's how much you work. You telling these people you out here what you ready to give. Don't be putting them beads on. And so she heard it change because Nynaeve, she prudish, even though she an adult. She grown than them, but she was like, oh no, let me change up out of that. And then Matt's crazy behind and put the dang beads on, child. I'm like, that Matt is a rascal, I tell you. But they out in the city, they done made a plan. They're supposed to be keeping a low profile, asking questions conspicuously so they can figure out where these other bands are to the male chant, the bands and the collar, so they can get it before Leandrin's group. And they try to find Leandrin and her cabal. So they out perusing the streets, asking all these questions. Why they asking all these questions, making statements, assuming? And so in the midst of them, we got Min and Nynaeve, she having her knock back a couple drinks to, take the edge off. Nynaeve, let your hair down, girl. You always uptight. Chill. Have fun. Relax. It's not vacation, but we're going to take a little break. So she finally started letting her hair down and having a good time. She's smiling for once. She laughing, and she don't get to laugh often. So she laughing, and they get careless though, because in the midst of things going well, they talking, she opening up to men and whatnot. When they asked about Leandrin, it's fun. I can't remember the Black Aja name. The Black Aja, the Black sister. She was actually a sister, a Black sister that was a Black Aja. Let me just clarify. It started with an S, something like that. And she overheard them talking and asking about Leandrin. But if we move, I can't remember if this happened before or after, but Leandrin was in her dream, Tellerambria, right? And guess who visits her in Tellerambria? In her dream, Lanfear. Lanfear come and visit us. And this was, I'm gonna pull up the picture so y'all can see her. She was sitting in the Amerlin Sea, y'all. Her highest dream, that's what she want to be. She want to be Amerlin so bad. But I'm like, looking at her Amerlin regalia, that's the biggest you could dream of, sister. You at the highest point of Aes Sedai power, and this is what your regalia look like? She don't want to let that red go. But Lanfear visits her. But before Lanfear visits her, there was a shadowy creature, a person, lurking in the dark. Something evil's lurking in the dark. Hey, we don't know who it was. Everybody's theorized that it's probably more than likely Moghedien, well, her crazy self, her nasty behind. I'm gonna talk about her when I get through with this section. So Lanfear pretty much is like, what you up to? I know you out here sneaking. Which one you planning with? Rabin, Samael, who you plotting and planning with? Tell me who you working with. And she like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm almost giving, no, not me, mistress, not me. And Lanfear puts her boot under her chin. She swaps seats with her. And she put her boot up under Landry's chin. And she like, I thought it was you. But one of your little sisters, the Black Aja members, think they clever than they really are. That's the one who plotted and planned it. And so you need to find them and get rid of them tonight. Pretty much tonight. And I want them gone. And so she knew immediately who it was. And I think we all did. It was like, Naomi, watch it, sister. And so she goes and she like chilling with the sisters and whatnot. And Mo Gideon nasty behind. You know, she's pretending to be the servant, right? So she all wrapped up and she get their drink. She got a thing of tea and she spits in the tea, y'all, and gives them the tea. She give them the tea. And at one point, she take their food. She grabbed the food. She stuffed it all in her mouth. And then she spits it all back. Spit it all back in there. Oh, she's gross. She is so disgusting, so revolting. But hey, it just adds more to this woman. She's clinically insane. I'm diagnosing Mo Gideon. She's insane. She's terrible. And through this little meeting that Leandra has with the sister, she's just really trying to figure out which one of y'all is it? Which one of y'all is playing me behind my back? But she automatically assumes that it's Naomi. And, you know, she wake Naomi up. And she got a little finger pointed at her. And she's like, I've been experimenting with your weave, girl. Tell me what you know, because I know you know something. And she's like, Leandra, don't do it. And so she spills the beans that she knows where the collar's at. It's in the something palace. It's somewhere. The Pennachoke Palace. Don't quote me. Y'all know all these names. I'm going to start writing these names down as I get them. It's in the palace. And that's where you'll find the things. And she's like, thank you. And then she used her signature little fire arrow to the head, bullet to the head, kills Naomi. Ishtan, the other Black Aja sister, she catches her. She sees her. And she lets her know that, you know, the Nynaeve, Elaine, they're there in the city. Who also overhears this is Mo Gideon. She overhears this, right? So she knows that the group is in Tenchico as well. I'm gonna leave Tenchico just for a minute, and I'm gonna stay in Tenchico because one of my favorite moments of the series, y'all. It was so fun. So Elaine, you know, she thinks she know everything. She got all this book knowledge, child, and so she's like, she trying to have the accent and whatnot, and she just knows what she gonna do, how to blend in. She gonna get to the information, but it starts to go sour when one of the people start recognizing her as the daughter of Andor. But let me reverse, because before we get to there, Matt is, you know, he's gambling, you know, he doing what he do best. He talking to these men or whatever. One of them who's supposed to be like his admirer. You know, he asking blatant questions about these silver band or the bands and what they may look like. And he runs into Tom Maryland. Hello, Tom. Where you been, brother? We ain't seen you since the Fade attack. And he don't want nothing to do with Matt. He's like, no, leave me alone. You almost got me killed. You left me for dead. I don't want nothing to do with you and your friends. Get thee behind me, Satan. I don't want nothing to do with it. Matt, you know, convinces him that, hey, you know, I learned a lesson. You know, you pretty much taught me, you know, hey, I'm here. I survived. Let's just have a beer. You know, let's just sit down. Let's talk. Let's catch up. Oh, friend. But okay. He starts to tell him everything. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody running their mouth this season, in this episode in particular. Everybody running their mouth. He gets to telling him that Rand is the dragon reborn. Elaine is the queen of Andor. He done blew the horn of Valyr. Child, he done gave Tom all this information. And Tom was like, why you, I don't want to hear it. And but he mentioned the Tavarine, that it's around his friends. That Tavarine is there. Y'all got the Tavarine on y'all side, but I still don't want no parts of it, so leave me alone. This is when Elaine get into trouble. And they's like, you the queen, you the heir to the throne of Andor. You think you slick sitting up here trying to pretend like you from here. And she's like, no, I am. Tom was like, this is my assistant. And so he was like, well, sing me a song since you a Gleeman's assistant. Our girl like, bet. Y'all know the hills of Tanchico? And she get up there. I'll tell you a tale of a lad of 20. Okay, I said, come on, Elaine. Come on. She got up on that table, baby, and got to singing. A terror-born boy with coin aplenty. All right. See, I sung my own version. I love this song. She went and sang this song down. The hills of Tanchico. They was up there having a grand old time. Now I did my own little spin and twist to it. You can find it on my TikTok at the E.A.R Chronicles. You can find it on my YouTube short at the E.A.R Chronicles. I did a little soulful, more bluesy version of it. But this song is so fun. Been stuck in my head for the last week. This was so important. Shout out to Nikhil and Rami Park, I believe. Phenomenal job. And Sierra, I think that's how you pronounce her name, the actress. Wonderful job. Like, such a fun reprieve in this season, in this show in general. Such a fun moment when and it's the realization, right? She's just singing a song, but when she realized they're talking about the cha-chas, you know, that's what these hills, okay? You know, one's not enough and three too many, but two bring a man to his knees. She catches on so quickly and she really just gets into it. And she also lets her hair down and really gets into the moment. But there's also a double meaning, you know, it's a double entendre. So yes, it means like breast, a woman's breast at the heels of Tanchico. But it could also mean the male Adam, right? The man who's collared. One is not enough. One Aes Sedai is not enough to contain him. Three is too many. You don't need three. Three ain't gonna work. But two will bring a man to his knees. Two shackles, one collar, man. That's another entendre that could have been lost in time, you know, based on back in the end when they sang that song. It could have been the main reference, and then over time, when Tanchico just became Tanchico, I guess it's always been Tanchico, but the heels could mean breasts, and you know, or maybe that's just us in the fandom just adding that extra layer because it works. Either way, brilliantly done, incredible scene, loved every bit of it. Let's go to the IOAs a little bit. So in the IOAs, we get Rand with Alcera again. Such a sweetie pie. She's teaching him. She like, here go my squash. This is my squash. I take care of this squash. Don't you? Rand picked up her spear. Put it down. It's like, you know how you get popped. Put it back. Nobody tell you to touch that. You dishonor me, Rand al'Thor. And so he promises that he'll take care of all her squashes. Such a cute little moment with her, which kind of sets us up for the end and like, oh, we not ready. Then we have a conversation with Moiraine and Rand, which was a really powerful conversation. I thought it was an important conversation. She's just like, she was trying to hide the Sakarna from him. He was like, girl, I know you got that thing. She's like, I just don't understand. There's so much power. It's like, it's overwhelming and I don't want to submit to it. And I want to submit to it, but it's just too much. It's going to overflow. And he's like, don't submit. And she's like, how do you do it? He's like, I never submit. Don't ever submit. Fight back. He's like, all this power, I can feel the tank. I see it. it's pulling me constantly. If I give in, if I submit, I would be overwhelmed. I would be subdued if I let all this power that I have access to overwhelm me and I submit to it. So I fight back with everything I have. That's Sidene for you. Like, you take control of it, you grasp it. It's different than Sidar, where they submit to it and they go along with the flow. No, you bend it to your will. That's how you do this. So when you messing with that Sakana, he pretty much tell her, when you ready to really work with it, attack it. Don't let it attack you. Don't give it control over you. You control it. And so I love this moment between them. You can kind of see the trust starting to build. And I kind of see the maturity in Rand a little bit. And so I love this. Then we get Egwene and the wise ones. She get in trouble because they told her not to walk them dreams without her. She hard-headed, disobedient behind, did it anyway. And so they still was trying to teach her how to get rid of Lanfear out of her dreams. Backfires. Lanfear takes over and whatnot. Lanfear revisits her and pretty much was like, your man knew. He knew he know who I am. He wasn't dumb. He knew what he been laying down with. So go check him on that. How about that? Yeah. You think you sold? You think you knew it all, baby girl? Please, you don't hold a candle to me. Go check your man, pretty much. Because you thought he was just this innocent little baby. No, Rand know what he doing. And so that just left Egwene completely shattered. And so she was like, she gonna go confront him, right? But before I get to that confrontation, Moraine is also visited by Lanfear, and she like, listen, you been trying to hide from me, Miss Moraine. What you hiding for, sister girl? What you hiding for? It's almost like you trying to double cross me or something. Are you afraid? But anyways, I don't really care. Just know that something is coming for Rand, and you need to let him handle it. You stay back and let him take care of it. And I'm interested to see what this is going to be, because I'm like, what does that even mean? But I was excited because I'm like, do we finally get to see Rand do some more action? Get to see him really tap into the one power? And boy, do we. But before then, I'm going to take us back to Tenchiko. So remember how I said, Mo Gideon been spying on the Black Aja. So she catches Ishtan, she catches one of the Black sisters in Tel'aran'rhiod, and she gets her to spill the beans on Naomi that Liandrin knows. Oh, because Liandrin, I forgot to mention, she wants to be a Forsaken. And so I don't even know if you can be elevated to be a Forsaken or not, but she plans to be one. And so she's going to do everything Lanfear tell her to do and live up to her dark oath so she can become a Forsaken. But Mo Gideon don't really care that she got the information, and she don't know who the girl was waiting on. We don't even know which one she was working with either. But she just grabbed that girl's face and just laughing and smiling, screaming in her face, and pushes her eyeballs in and kills that girl. I'm like, oh my God, you are psycho. Like, we knew you were a psycho, but you're really a psycho, Mo Gideon. And after this, in Tenchiko, Matt had offered up some coins, if anybody could find where the bands or whatever, or the collar was. And then one of his admirers, one of the dudes who was talking to earlier, comes up to Matt after the song ends, because Min and Nynaeve eventually joined in on the fun with her singing, Elaine singing The Hills of Tenchiko. And they all dancing, having a good time. As they're leaving, the boy comes up to him. It's like, is this what you're looking for? And it's sure enough one of the bands. And he gave him his little coins. They on about their merry way. That's a win, for Swan's Hounds, right? For the Tenchiko crew. Wrong, because Mo Gideon obviously overheard and that they were here. She finds them. Lord have mercy. She finds them. And she goes, oh, y'all, I had pictures. I was going to put them up here. Oh, my God. I forgot to upload them. But she compels them, which this scene was so well done. It was a beautiful scene in terms of just seeing the dynamic of Mo Gideon assessing the girls like giggly schoolgirls, just yes, what you need? Yes, we're here because Swan told us to come. She doesn't trust anybody. And it was just so giddish. I loved it. But an important piece, a couple important pieces. Mo Gideon, as she's assessing them, and she's like, you got some power on y'all. Y'all sisters got some power. You especially, Nynaeve. So highlighting once again how powerful Nynaeve is. But she said, but you're blocked. You blocked yourself. As they're under this weave of compulsion, she said, why did you do that? Why have you blocked yourself? And Nynaeve, she admits, I'm afraid of this power. This is so much power. I don't know what to do with it. I'm scared to use it. And Mo Gideon was like, girl, in our age, we would have beat it out of you. We would have beat it out of you till you got it right. And I was like, ooh, okay, not beat it out of you. Y'all make it seem like the Age of Legends was like, oh, kumbaya. And it apparently, what if y'all getting the one power beat out of you? I mean, I guess they all a little rough in the modern age, but dang. Not beat it out of you because you was scared, child. That's, I guess. But then she's talking to them. She's like, so who else is here? And you got to remember these specific questions because even though they're just accepted, they're not full Aes Sedai. So, but they can still lie, can't they? I think they might can still lie. Because they can. Because the wise ones asked Egwene how she lied. She's like, well, technically I'm going to accept them, not Aes Sedai, so I can lie. She said, so who was all here with you? Well, no, she asked, are there any other Aes Sedai with you? And they're like, no, which is true, but that means she doesn't know that, Min and Mat are there. And then she asked if they uncovered anything important related to the Melodon. And of course, yes, she goes and she found the bracelet. They said, we found the bracelet. They go get the bracelet. Nynaeve go gets it. And Mo Gideon tries to take it from her, and Nynaeve holds on to it. Like, grips it real good. And she like, you're resisting me? Yes, she's resisting you. Again, another great display of Nynaeve's power. She eventually snatches it from her, and then she scars her face, right? She scars Nynaeve's face, leave her a little scar, like a little, I see what you're doing. I see you, but I want you to know that I got the upper hand in the situation. Breaks the compulsion, and they realize something is terribly wrong. They got a headache. Then they notice a scar. So another great scene, which apparently was ripped straight from the pages of the book. So kudos to the team for adapting that very well. And I'm so excited. I'm ready to see Nynaeve cut loose, baby. I'm ready to see this build up between her and Mo Gideon. I'm ready. I'm ready for her to tear her up. So please, y'all let her cut loose. Please, by the finale, let her do it. And then I'm going back to the IEOAs. No, let me not do that. I'm going to go to the Two Rivers real quick. So we know, and I'm going to make this one really quick because not much happened, but something special happened. So a lot of people, it's been very controversial, and I get it, but Alana was obviously on her deathbed, and she needed some healing. They bring in the sisters, Matt's sisters, because we know they could channel, but they bring them in. They didn't know that. Alana and Maxim didn't know. But they bring them in, and when they realize, they're like, girls, listen closely. This is what we're going to do. So she starts to coach them through it all. Alana, she starts telling them, imagine the flower bud is opening, and that you are, it's like knitting wool. Picture the womb ceiling, like knitting wool. Bone to bone, blood to blood, muscle to muscle. And I just thought this scene was so brilliant as a non-book reader. I just thought, even though it's a little inconsistent with some of the things we've seen even in the show, but for me, I'm like, this highlights perfectly how wonderful of a teacher Alana is, that she's able to coach these newbies in the power to heal her. But I also think it also highlights that these girls have this innate spark within them. with the blood of Manethrin, that type of thing going on as well. But I truly enjoyed it. I'm like, you better teach the babies teach the babies. Teach them on your deathbed. Like, this is why Alana is the GOAT, y'all. But so many people don't see how or believe that there was a way that these two fledgling girls in the One Power can heal an Aes Sedai so well, specifically because they have a full Aja dedicated to it. But I'm like, y'all, I don't think they healed her correctly. Well, not wrong, but I just think if you pay attention to when she got well, quote unquote, before then, she was gasping as she was healing, she was still in visible pain. And even when she was done, she went to go visit Perrin, because they know he needed healing too, but he needed Aes Sedai. And she just wasn't able at the time. And so I'm like, she was still sweaty, dewy looking, still looking a little sick. So in my mind, it's like she was able to she was guiding them, and they were linked as well. So maybe they were pulling from her knowledge and whatnot, and just she was guiding them. But I don't think she was fully recovered and replenished. And again, shout out to the Wheel of Time Podtastica, because they mentioned as well, they would have liked to have heard something verbally stated, like, oh, she's not fully well or fully back to full strength. I can understand that, but I just gonna personally take into account that it was just implied. But regardless, I love the scene because I was like, I love Alana, so I'm gonna stand 10 toes behind Alana no matter what, and love that scene. Then we get the scene with Perrin and Fael. He's telling her all his business again. Motor mouth Maybell. They just running their mouth. He didn't told about the horn being blown because she looking for the horn. He tells her about Matt. He tells her about Layla, his wife that he killed. And he basically tells her that you are light when I look at you. You didn't know this woman for a few weeks, and she light to you, but hey, she's the light. All you see is light when you look at her, I guess. But she spills some info to him too. She lets him know that her mom was a dark friend, wanted her to swear the oath. She refused, ran away, but she told her brother. The brother confronted the mama. The mama killed the brother because he didn't want to be a dark friend. And that's how she pretty much ended up leaving and joining the band and the crew with on the hunt for the horn. Also in the Two Rivers, the White Cloaks are, still reeling from the battle, from the rescue mission between Perrin's group. And then another set of White Cloaks, which is a little mysterious, but they were led by Pat and Fane, I believe. They said they're going to help them with the Two River folks. So I'm like, we gearing up for the battle. We're going to see what's going to happen with that. But also we ended with, like, on this end with Perrin and Fael getting ready to kiss. What they was doing, they was already kissing. They were getting ready to do a little bit more. And then Alana came in and whatnot. But moving back to the IOAs to wrap things up, our good sis Egwene goes to confront Rand about Lanfear. He admits that he knew who she was the whole time, and they have this huge argument. And he's like, "You do this all the time. You left me. You weren't thinking about me, and you don't really want to be with me." And she just pretty much was like, "How dare you? How dare you? This woman been torturing me. She's the source of my nightmares, and you've been with her every night, and you knew who she was." And he was like, "You do this. I'll never be enough. I'm the Dragon Reborn, and it's still not enough for you." And in the middle of them just breaking up, finally, I'm glad they breaking up because y'all doing too much. They break up, but before they could do a real good one, they are attacked by Samael, one of the Forsaken, and some soldiers that he brought with him, some dark friend, Shadow Spawn, right? And so he immediately has his hammer, blasting folk, blasting Rain, blast him down. Lose there, you done got soft, attacking him. Egwene finally, she get up and she starts throwing some weaves of air. Then she gets sliced up. I'm like, girl, why they get sliced up? They do a couple good things and get sliced up. Then comes Avienda, making some some spears of fire and air, weaves of fire and air, and she stabs him through Samael. They don't really do much to him. They just distract him, piss him off more than anything. And he slams the hammer down, makes this huge explosion, knocks them all out, except Rand is able to get back up. And then this is when he cut loose. Rand cut loose, y'all. Samael gets ready to blast him with what people are assuming could be a stream of bellfire. We don't really know. Rand blocks it, y'all. He creates a shield, and then he begins to channel. And I'm like, this is what we've been waiting to see. This incredible display of power from the Dragon Reborn, strong enough to block a Forsaken's attack. Not only is he blocking, then he starts to pull these weaves. And what we assume we may hear Luz Theron whisper in his head. This could be thoughts in his head, but out loud, we hear him. Is it teaching him? Is it coaching him on what to do? He's pulling these weaves out, these beautiful, oily, tainted weaves. But we see him kind of go to another place. And then he lets loose as he's choosing these threads and doing it so elegantly and so effortlessly. And he shoots these lightning strikes down and tears Samael up with the lightning. And it was such, again, a powerful display. And I loved it because everybody's like, Rand didn't get to do nothing. All the girls get to have all these moments. And shut up now. All y'all can shut up now. Because Rand cut loose and he showed y'all why he is the Dragon Reborn. Okay? This was everything, probably my favorite, one of my favorite, if not my favorite scenes of the one power being used. And really getting to see Saidin at work. We've only seen Logain really use Saidin, and Rand barely used it a couple of times. So to see it at work like this was so amazing to see. But it comes at a cost, like everything always does. And Avienda's like, Sarah, she was in the room upstairs. Rand goes, moves the rock and the rubble, and he picks up her limp, cold, one ain't cold yet, but her limp body. And he's like, no, Sarah, no. Sarah, breathe. Breathe, Sarah, breathe. Breathe, Sarah, breathe. Breathe. And they're like, no, Rand, she dead. Egwene, hush. He ain't trying to hear all that. He ain't trying to hear that right now. I will say y'all could have gave us a little bit more light, by the way, because it was a little dark. Y'all was giving the Game of Thrones season 8 dark battles, and we need some more light next time. Just remember that. But breathe, Sarah. And he just starts pouring all this one power into her. And they're like, no, Rand, she's dead. We can't heal the dead. And he's like, I can do anything. I can do it. What does the prophecy say? What does the prophecy say? I will bring destruction, but also creation. Breathe, Sarah. Breathe. And he just channels this insane amount. He's just pulling the power. He's grabbing it and pouring it into her to bring her back. And Moraine initially came out and just told Lan to wait, but then she seen he's still going. He's getting ready to just pull out all he could until he down the left. She goes to tap him on the shoulder like, it's all right, baby. Let it go. Let it go. So he lets it go. And he comes to terms with the fact that even him, the Dragon Reborn, with all this power that he has access to, even he cannot save everybody. Even he cannot overrule death. And this scene is so haunting. It's so powerful. It's so necessary. It's harrowing. But the realization for his character, the shift in his character at this point, you see it. It's so noticeable. And it was in that moment with the laughing. I wish I would have put that up. When he started laughing in the midst of trying to save her, he's like, what does the prophecy say? What does it say? I read destruction. And then he's like laughing and crying because all the emotions are once. It's like, like you laugh because it's like, this is unbelievable. I got all this power and I can't do nothing. But I'm like, oh, the man has got him. That laugh, Joshua Stradowski, Give him his Emmy. He deserves his Emmy. Give Joshua his Emmy today. Don't wait. Don't stop at go. Don't stop to collect $200. Give him his Emmy. This performance was spectacular. It was on point. It was real. You could feel it. It was so incredible and believable. Like, I legit thought I'm like, this is the madness. The madness has him. I see it now. He's here. And he just did such a fantastic job in this scene. So shout out to Joshua. You are doing such a phenomenal job as Rand. And so, y'all, that concludes episode 6. For me personally, it was a very great episode for me. And like I said, the drawbacks, were there any drawbacks for me? No. I know there's some controversial points, but for me, no. I wish the battle, I will say, the battle between Samael Rand with Avienda and Egwene, I wish that was longer. Now that I would have liked to see more. And of course, I would have liked to see Nynaeve maybe fight back more through the compulsion, maybe even do a little bit of the one power. I don't know. But other than that, this episode, 8.5 out of 10 for me. Loved it. Cannot wait for episode 7. It looks like it's going to be really good. And we're going to be in the Two Rivers for majority, if not the entire time. I'm probably going to be there the entire time, but we're going to be there for a majority of the time. So I'm super stoked to see episode 7, which comes on in about 9 hours from now. But yes, thank you all so much for tuning back into the E.A.R Chronicles with me, your host, Eric. But before you go, make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe. And turn on notifications so you never miss when I got an episode coming out or any other thing I may be talking about. And I will see y'all in the next turning of the wheel after episode 7 airs. Y'all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are listening to this. Bye.